To our nation's capital now, a historic day in the House of Representatives as lawmakers vote to oust the House Speaker for the first time ever. Kevin McCarthy losing the gavel in a historic vote today, 216 to 210.
Now new questions about where exactly Republicans go from here. Here's Kayla Norwood tonight from Capitol Hill.
I will not run for Speaker again.
Kevin McCarthy speaking hours after the House removed him from his leadership role. He says doing his job cost him his job.
Doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it is necessary. I don't regret standing up for choosing governance over grievance.
His remarks capping a chaotic day in the House of Representatives.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
He had battled lawmakers from the hardline right flank for months, but the last straw for the conservative hardliners, McCarthy's willingness to work with Democrats to avoid a government shutdown.
Chaos is Speaker McCarthy. Chaos is somebody who we cannot trust with their word.
Finstad.
The majority of the GOP caucus stuck with McCarthy.
Under Speaker McCarthy's leadership, our House Republican majority has actually defied all odds and overperformed expectations again and again and again.
House Democrats said they want to work with Republicans, but it's up to the GOP to decide on their speaker.
We encourage our Republican colleagues who claim to be more traditional to break from the extremists.
Kevin McCarthy selected North Carolina Representative Patrick McHenry as acting speaker. He'll stay in that position until a new speaker is selected.
The chair declares the House in recess, subject to the call of the chair.
And our coverage continues with Kara Peters. She joins us live in studio.
And Kara, you spoke with a local expert about the now former Speaker's removal and his temporary replacement. What did you learn?
Ken and Christine, this is uncharted territory following this historic showdown today. I spoke with Wake Forest University political science professor John Dinan on what led up to this moment and what must be done to keep it from happening again.
After less than 9 months, Kevin McCarthy removed as House Speaker, an historic moment that now leaves the future in question.
That's a big deal to have a Speaker of the House removed in the middle of the term. People have used the term chaos to describe today and the aftermath of today, and chaos is an apt description.
Dinan says there were several factors leading to tensions between several Republicans and McCarthy, like disagreements with spending. But all of that coming to a head over the weekend, following a near government shutdown that was saved with the help of Democrats.
That was a bridge too far for several of these Republican dissenters. So in a way, Speaker McCarthy, by working with members across the aisle to allow the government to continue operating and not shut down, basically sealed his fate.
Congressman Patrick McHenry, who represents North Carolina's 10th district, now stepping in as interim speaker, a confidential decision that a House Speaker is required to make if their position is vacated.
At the very beginning of this Congress, Kevin McCarthy created this list. It was a secret list. It's not a list that any of us knew about. Today, as soon as Kevin McCarthy was vacated from the Speaker, that list became public, and who was at the top of that list was Patrick McHenry.
Moving forward, Dinan says the difficulty will be trying to find a House Speaker that can appeal to the Republican House majority, especially when it comes to passing legislation.
It suggests that it's going to be very difficult for Republicans going forward to reach consensus. We probably don't expect much in the way of significant legislation passing this Congress if Republicans find it so difficult to choose and hold on to a speaker. Will it be Patrick McHenry? Will it be someone else? That's where the story turns now.
And this all comes with the new stopgap spending bill in place. Dinan explained during these next 45 days, time will tell what happens next for the next House Speaker, but also if we could face another possible government shutdown. Live in the studio tonight, I'm Kara Peters for WXII 12 News.